During his media availability on Wednesday, General Manager Ben Cherington was asked, what did he attribute Mitch Keller's struggles to? And he was pretty fast with the answer. It was left-handed hitting. If you've been watching Mitch Keller this year, you would probably draw the same conclusion. And as I watched what the Braves did to Keller on Thursday, I'm starting to wonder, how does he right the ship and neutralize a very unfavorable platoon split? Good morning and welcome to Offbeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf, and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. Mitch Keller did not have a good start on Thursday. He was pulled after just 3 innings, allowed 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, did strike out 3, but it was 72 pitches, and it was just a point that whenever 4th inning rolled around, Don Kelly said he thought that going to Cam Sanders gave him the best chance to win. Now, that in itself is going to raise a few eyebrows. That Cam Sanders, the up-down guy for what has been one of the worst performing bullpens in baseball the last couple months, was deemed a better option in the 4th inning than your starting pitcher. But I don't necessarily disagree. Atlanta came in and they stacked that lineup with lefties. 6 left-handers and a switch hitter. And every left-handed hitter they could have possibly put in there, they did. They challenged him, and Keller did not get him out. There were long at-bats, long innings. 72 pitches. 15 times he threw a fastball that the Braves swung at, only 1 whiff. And that's 4-seam, 2-seam. That's not even counting cutters. 1 out of 15. The Braves just pounced early. Matt Olson jumped on a cutter early, and it ended in the 1st inning, and it ended up being the deciding run. The Braves would not relinquish the lead the rest of the day. And if you've been watching Keller in the past, you could be like, yeah, there have been left-handed struggles at times. Actually, for the majority of the years. But it hasn't been this profound in quite some time. Going by Baseball Reference, he had an .831 OPS allowed to left-handers going into play on Thursday. That is going to go up. .831 is the highest it has been since 2021. Do you remember 2021 Mitch Keller? How lost he looked, how he was optioned to the minor leagues, how we all kind of wondered, like, is this it? Is he not going to pan out? And he had that great career revival starting that off season, really took hold in the middle of 2022 whenever he started throwing the sinker and the sweeper. How much it meant to that team to get someone like that moving. And this is a rotation now that doesn't need Mitch Keller to carry it, but he is not elevating it right now. And it's the left-handed struggles. Baseball Reference has a stat called TOPS plus. And it takes what your results are in a given split and weighs them. And going by that, this is the biggest divide he has had between production against left-handers and production against right-handers since 2020. And 2020 was such a fluke, short season in general, and he was hurt for the vast majority of it, so that's not a sample size. This is the largest divide he has ever had between getting left-handed hitters out and right-handed hitters out. And he's sitting here with an ERA over 5. And I look mid-season, and it's like, what do you do to rectify this? I firmly believe there's a mechanical issue at play here. I wrote something for Book Rule Bucks a couple weeks ago about just diving in, kind of what I'm thinking. And my big takeaway was the sinker's not playing. And to his credit for Thursday, it was a sinker-heavy day. He really was trying to get those quick outs, try to go deeper. It didn't play. He didn't execute it. And without that, it's so much of his stuff plays up off of that sinker. The sweeper plays off of that sinker. The slider plays off of the sinker. The changeup plays off of the sinker. So whenever he doesn't have that working, then those other pitches aren't going to be as sharp. It's also why we've seen more and more lately the cutter as his primary off-speed pitch. He threw both cutters and changeups on Thursday, but one of the first cutters he threw wasn't that home run to Matt Olson. In general, it wasn't getting strikes. It wasn't getting him quick outs the way that pitch is intended to. I asked Mitch Keller postgame about that pitch because it was something that was pretty much on the shelf all of 2025. Keller responded, quote, "It was a really big pitch for me, has been all year. It's just when I don't execute it, it gets put in the seats, unfortunately. It's kind of a risk-reward pitch. I've had good success with it at times, and I've had terrible success with it at times. It's just things we have to identify when and who, presumably here he meant to throw to. And ultimately, it comes down to me throwing it where I want to." End quote. And I buy that, find the right spots, execute it. That's going to make any pitch better. But if he's acknowledging this is a risk-reward pitch, and it comes with that high risk, and Matt Olson showed why that pitch is so risky, that's a really bad sign if he's going to that to try to get left-handers out right now. That kind of shows the state of where everything is, where he acknowledges this is a high-risk pitch, and he's going to it to try to get left-handers out in the first inning. That is just a red flag for me. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
I really do think there is a mechanical issue at play here. That is sapping some of the fastball velocity, isn't making the fastballs as crisp, the off-speed pitches not moving as much, the breaking pitches not moving as much. I think there is something here. I wish I could pinpoint it better. I identified a few things for Book Roll Bucks, but I think I'm just on the trail. I don't think I had the answer fully. And this All-Star break is a pretty good opportunity to try to figure some of that stuff out. I don't know if there's going to be a better opportunity in season to try to do that. But the core issue here is the left-handers. You have to find a way to get them out, and there's only so much you can do in season. Both Keller and Cherington acknowledge pitch mix as something that they could look at to try to rectify these struggles. And yeah, pitch mix is an option. Adding the cutter, which we didn't see really at all in 2025, and it wasn't until like May that it started to pop up again in 2026. That is part of the equation potentially. I mean, we've seen him find success by adding a pitch mid-season in the past, but I don't know what else he could add at this point. I think it's refining. It might be a dial back type deal. What does he want to throw more of? And maybe it's fastballs, but again, that's tough to do whenever you're not throwing, 96, 97 consistently. Whenever that fastball is more 93, 94, it's tough to become a power pitcher. These left-handed struggles are daunting. That TOPS plus was 124. I looked on StatHead and tried to find the last time a Pirate pitcher pitched at least 50 innings and had a split that bad against left-handers, and it was Joe Musgrove in 2018. Never in the Oscar Marin era did a pitcher have this wide a gap between right-handers and left-handers. This could potentially, and I think that 124 is only going to get worse after that performance on Thursday. I don't think the cutter's the answer. The cutter's playing off of the four-seamer, and it doesn't miss bats against left-handers like it should. The changeup has just not looked good all year, and those are the top two options he has against lefties, outside of just trying to blow it by him, and the fastball's not fast enough to do that right now. Mitch Keller was such an important part of this pitching staff for years, and he was such an important figurehead as these young guys came up. That clubhouse leader, that guy you build around. But they're at a spot right now where he is not carrying his weight. And it's a point where you look at this whole rotation and how it has not lived up to the very lofty expectations that we had at the start of the year. And it's just an ugly spot right now where he's kind of been like the face of what the rotation has not been able to achieve so far. It was one thing to be like, yeah, he's probably not going to be an all-star like he was in 2023. It's another for the ERA starts with a 5. I don't think he should be kicked out of the rotation, but I just checking social media, there are a lot of people saying have him and Majinski flip. I don't agree with that, but that's probably only going to get louder, those conversations, if he's not able to get left-handers out and get deeper into games. This is a bullpen that can't be asked to cover 6 innings. They were able to go a decent chunk on Thursday, keep it at a ball game, but eventually in the 10th, Dennis Santana gives up that grand slam. If Carmen Majinski's not available in a given day, who do you turn to for 2 or 3 innings? Yohan Ramirez? Okay, then who do you go after Yohan? It's a bullpen that needs a drastic overhaul, but right now, they need at least innings eaten. And Keller, through all the ups and downs of his career, had at least shown that he could do that. Even whenever he would struggle in the second half of seasons, for a good portion, he would still at least give 5. He would wear it. It's part of the reason why his ERA was probably a little higher than it should have been. He was out there wearing some ugly innings to try to save his bullpen. And he's not doing that right now because left-handers are getting at him early and often. If he can't do that, this whole pitching staff, it becomes a harder path to winning. Thank you so much for listening to Offbeat this week here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you find podcasts, or check us out on YouTube if you want to see my smiling face at section 322. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good weekend. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.
Yeah.